Hello everyone, I'm here at the Wallen Future Hub today and I'm really excited to introduce you to two incredible people who are joining us and have been working with us for quite a while. So firstly here I have Nikki. Nikki works as a consultant and she works as a counsellor. She does hypnotherapy, she also does counselling and coaching. She's also an active community member. You may have heard her on OKRFM, amongst various other things. She's also part of the Mutual Suicide Prevention Networks. So as we often joke that Nikki wears very many hats and everyone in Mitchellshire knows her. So I'm here to introduce you to Nikki today, and I'm also here to introduce you to Jo. So Jo has come to join us as a student placement student, and she has just been the most incredible asset and has helped us just go so many miles in the time that she's been here. So she's got an extraordinary story. She's got a background in hairdressing, and then she has owned multiple businesses internationally. She's created her own business from the ground up in social media management, and she's also done some incredible philanthropic and pro bono work. And all of this stuff doesn't even begin to cover it, so I'm going to throw you over to Nikki and Jo, and I'll throw you a question. So Nikki and Jo, what brings you here, and why are you excited to be here?
Yeah, well, would you like to go first, Jo, or do you want me to take the show?
You take the lead.
It's an easy one for me to do. So for anyone who knows who I am and what we're about, you'll know that I have worked in film and television. You know that I have worked for a plethora of different jobs. You know that I work very hard and believe in what is an asset for us in the community, and especially bringing it all back to the Wallen Future Hub. Yes, I am an active advocate for the community and do believe in fostering great services and support in supporting those who are most vulnerable, but more importantly reaching out to members of our community who are able to be supported and served to the best of our ability and however I can personally see fit to do so, which is really great. So that's my brief story, but there's more to it, of course, and the only way you're going to find out more is if you come down and visit us here at the Hub, because it is a big journey and it is a lifetime of stories, and it is always great to share them. And also the opportunity for people to learn and grow themselves with the experiences that we've both had, and being able to move forward in where we've been at and where we're at the moment, and in reflection to all those things. So offering that to members of the community is always a great personal growth for others, which is my specialty in my Mind Ahead NLP coach, a life coaching and counselling service that I offer up the road. I think that's probably enough about me for the moment, because like I said, we can keep going on. But Jo here is also as equally as miraculous. Yeah. And Jo, I understand that you have, first of all, a hairdressing salon and have worked cutting hair for the homeless. So I'm very interested to know a little bit about how that came about.
Well, I just wanted to volunteer some time, and we all know how good a haircut can make you feel. So I thought, why not, what's better than just to donate a couple of hours of my time cutting hair? But what I actually got from doing that was way more than I ever thought. So through cutting hair for the homeless, I decided I was going to do a diploma of community services. And
you're doing that through?
Partners in Training.
Yes. And
I've completed that. Now I'm just up to my placement, and I was so blessed and lucky to be placed here at Wallen Future Hub. Everyone here is just lovely. I'm just loving it. But what really drew me to the Future Hub was the fact that my background is a lot to do with startups, and just seeing all the programs that are facilitated through the Hub, it sort of gives me the feel of the startup community, but it's going to, what's the word, like a better
cause.
Yeah, better cause. And it's also seeing, just the locals come in and have an idea and be able to help them implement it. Like, it really does light you up inside, and I just love seeing that so many people have wonderful ideas, so many people have different skills, and I've just learned so much from everyone that comes through the door, and also just being around like-minded people who just want the best for the community. I'm just loving it.
Excellent. And that's the biggest key thing, isn't it, really, that the Wallen Future Hub provides, is that you could have a very simple, basic idea, and there's no right or wrong about idea, because it is an option of imagination to come up with an idea. as it is a thought,
Yeah.
and then the ability to actually bring that idea into fruition, which
And
is
see it
what we
work.
try and do
Yeah.
here,
It's
and
amazing.
seeing it grow is amazing.
Yeah.
And the support that the Wallen Future Hub as volunteers offer is extraordinary, absolutely
It is,
extraordinary. So you would have seen some of those programs come through and
Yeah.
brought into their reality.
Yes.
What have you personally been involved in?
Well, I've seen so far, we've done a resume writing workshop. I've seen the community gardeners outside, they do an amazing job. Today we've had someone come in about the toy library, which I think, I'd never even heard of that idea before. I just think it's amazing, the fact that you can go and borrow toys for your children.
I remember doing that when my kids
Yeah.
were minors, and it was the best thing because
I've
we
never
can
heard
have
of it.
well, we can have toys at home,
Yeah.
and you can recycle them and put them away for 3 months and
Yeah.
then take them back out. But when it's somebody else's toys that you brought into the house, they think they're new.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
and the great things about that is that teaches them responsibility of looking after other people's toys.
Yeah.
So there are really great learning outcomes from
Sure.
having the toy library access
Yeah.
and being able to do that. So that's an idea that was brought through,
Yeah.
which was great. And I know I've spoken to someone
That's
today,
right,
which
yeah.
I know you were about to ask,
Yeah.
about the possibility of having food preparation and a course on how to make simple basic food for everyday living. And the lead from that would be to have the opportunity to perhaps cook the food on site with the tools being available to that individual and brought on site, because of course here at the Hub we don't actually have an oven. But that's okay, we get creative, which is
Yeah.
what it's about, and thinking outside the box of how else it can be done. And having that cooked here with the idea of giving it back to members of the vulnerable or vulnerable members of the community,
Yeah.
such as people who are in Love in Action or others.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff.
Yeah, all the staff, that's right, because you might have such a busy day,
Yeah.
you don't have time sometimes to prepare those meals. So it would be an opportunity to come on through, pop in, grab a meal, say hello, and then go home. So that's
Yeah.
another idea that's come through.
Yeah.
So ideas are great because they do come from all walks of life, from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And
And they're things that you might necessarily think of yourself, like, and they do fill needs in the community.
that's right. And some of the other ones that I know that I've personally come across is the opportunity of the Inner Beat program. So that's about using African drums, but I'd like to get a little bit more creative and immerse that into the gardens and have beat drum programs outside with the gardens that are developing out there. But also we have the opportunity down the track for the metaphysical stuff, the things that are a little bit holistic and a little bit out there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because we are what I refer to in Wallen, our Wallenite people, and we are very versatile and different, and that's okay.
Yeah,
And to be
that's
able to nurture those thoughts and processes of people that they believe in and value, why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to throw another question out there into the mix, what makes both of you, Jo and Nikki, what makes you really passionate about working in the community, and what does community mean to you?
Oh wow, gee. Well, my journey began in community probably from the age of, if I was to seriously sit down and think about it, I would say 12 and a half years of age. And it's probably the same age that I started work placement in my journey. So for me, it means giving back. It means connecting with like-minded people. It means having the opportunity to share a passion that I believe so much so, and sharing it with others. It means supporting and giving. It means being able to be present for other people where the need might be.
Yeah.
But it also means, for me, on a professional level, the skill sets that you can gain and take away. Because you see, Jo, my very first job was through volunteering, my experience and service and time. And that was for working for film and television. So it wasn't one of my very first jobs, but one of the many jobs.
Yeah.
So being able to volunteer allowed me to gain those skill sets and then put them into practice into a real world.
Yeah.
But how about you, Jo?
Well, my, I guess, it is a genuine love for the community, but it's also doing something bigger outside of myself. So I believe that we're all connected and that we should help each other as much as possible. But again, it's the same as what you said. It's about, sharing your knowledge, but you also learn so much else. Like I said, I probably wouldn't even gone down this career path if I hadn't started volunteering, cutting hair for the homeless, for the simple fact that I wasn't aware of some of the issues that were going on in our community, and also I was probably quite biased in my mindset of what I actually thought a homeless person was, or someone struggling. It was almost like, and I wasn't brought up with money or anything like that, but it was almost like I had privilege even over just some simple things of just receiving love, a mother's love, things like that. And the main thing that really stood out to me is that we are all connected, we are all equal, we are all worthy of being loved and respected and treated like humans, and how we should treat each other. And so for me, that's where my journey came from, and where I want to go, just helping people and the community, and keep learning from people and hearing people's stories. I'm really interested in hearing people's stories and what they've learned from them, or even if they haven't learned from them, what they're going through and how to help them through that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are very rich here in this environment of the Wallen Future Hub, because of course this is one of the bases for Love in Action. And Love in Action is a form of a social movement, and it is the essence of love.
Yeah.
And it is about giving and sharing and offering and being present, all those things that we just spoke about. And so the Wallen Future Hub, in my opinion, offers that from ground root, and it has grown, and I think it will grow continuously as it evolves and as further ideas come through from members of the community like you and myself and Emma and Selena, who are the backbones of this hub. And I believe in its growth, So I think that's a really remarkable statement to make, but it's very true in its essence. That place of love.
Yes.
And Nikki, you talked a little bit about your journey and what got you to working here and working within the community. And I'd be interested to hear from you as well, Jo. What was your journey towards working in the community, and how did you find yourself where you are now?
Well, like I said, it was purely from cutting hair of the homeless, and I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always worked in startup community. And I wasn't actually sure what I was going to be doing in the community. I just knew that I wanted to change my focus. And when I found out about the hub and the fact that I could still help people facilitate and implement their ideas, it's the same as what I do in startup. That's what really appealed to me. And it is about helping and empowering people to know that their ideas really matter, and that with a little bit of extra help, we can help implement them, and just seeing something grow. So for me, it's about, I guess, empowering the community to, follow what they want to do or pursue what's important to them.
It's that giving back, isn't it? It's realising within yourself of where you feel you really belong in this world and the journey that you might be on. And for myself, I think for me, the Wallen Hub was something that I actually prayed for many, many years. And for it, as in, let me explain that if I can. And it's about manifesting or putting out there in the universe, or whichever direction you want to put that into perspective, which sits right for you in your own mind. But for me, it was finding a place that can have the opportunity for people to go to and bring that one unity place for love. And it's ironic that Love in Action is here, but also the growth of where people are coming through with the ideas and the connections and the community and all that evolving has come through. So for me, it's something that I've always thought would be great to have within our community. I've resided here now for just over 13 years, and I have seen the developments in our region, and that's just going to grow even further. So I think it's important that people have such a place where they can find a place where they belong, a place where they will be accepted, a place where there is no judgment, a place that they're welcomed.
Their ideas are welcome.
And their ideas are welcomed as well. and that they're able to connect with other like-minded people.
Yep.
And that's what it truly stands for, and that's what it brings to this community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on a similar note to that, I said at the start, Nikki, that you wear many hats. What are some of those hats that you wear in the local community?
How much have we got on this video, Emma?
My curiosity keeps peaking, and I want to ask more questions.
Well, look, I've done a lot of different things, and I had a conversation off camera with Emma earlier today, Jo, where she said, "How old are you?" And I said, "Gee, I don't know if I want to really reveal that." I said, "But I preserved myself really well." I said, "No, but I think that my journey has been interesting in where I was and where I'm at and where I think I'm going. And I have worked for a Member of Parliament, I have worked in retail and sales, I have worked in customer service, I have worked for myself as a children's entertainer, I have worked as a teacher, I have worked as a self-employed and current life coaching counsellor. I am an author and I am a speaker, and I'm currently actually seeking 20 co-authors for a book that I'm creating, which is about the stories that people perhaps have never told and find the courage within themselves to share, with hoping that gives them a plethora of knowledge and wealth and more so healing, but also the opportunity to perhaps leave a legacy and do something for themselves, and with a message of hope at the end of it. So that's another thing that I'm working on at present. But that's the professional stuff, and the non-professional but still professional, which is what I put in the not-for-profit organisation voluntary commitments that I have, is the Mitchell Shire Suicide Prevention, the Wallen Future Hub, Love in Action, St Ignatius Church, Brotherhood of St Lawrence, and OKRFM. So they're just a few things that I'm doing at the moment.
Doesn't sleep.
I do. I sleep when I meditate at 5:30 in the morning, after I kind of wake up from a short sleep. So that's what I do, but I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure that there's, and of course not everybody has to do as many things that I've done in my life. That's how it's worked out and planned out for me, and it has been, I guess it's served me well, because it has helped me to become who I am today, and who I believe to be and who I need to be to keep going. But what is your journey in regards to that, Jo?
Well, my background's a little bit different. I've owned 6 hair salons, and I've always been in the startup space. So I've always been creating businesses, selling them, creating blogs, selling them. So it's been a little bit different. I get really excited about having an idea, implementing to get it started, and then watching see it grow, and then having someone else take it on and run with it. That's where I get my actual passion and love. Like I will literally stay up all night getting something done just because, I'm loving what I'm doing, and that's why I was so drawn to the hub, just because I see the ideas that people have, and as soon as someone starts talking, I can just, like, my head's just going like this, and almost to the point where sometimes I feel like I can overwhelm people, but it always comes from a good place, that Absolutely. I'm just wanting to, no matter what anyone says, had a lady today about the about advertising the toy library, and I just had so many ideas in my head going off, and they're already started, they're established, and they're doing great. But that's the one thing, like, I like generating ideas, and I like helping other people implement their ideas, and just working together and learning as we go.
And I love the way you said that it comes from a place where you feel that you can nurture that idea and help it grow. Because sometimes what can happen, in my experience, is people do it for self-interest.
Yes.
And that could be a place of not really great harvesting.
It's not. And you don't get fulfilled either.
That's right.
Yeah, especially if there's an ulterior motive to it. I love seeing people succeed in business, or in anything in their idea, but particularly women in business. I love seeing them succeed, and
Absolutely.
And even if I was to sell a business, like, my goal would be for them to go on and make millions or whatever their goal would be for the business, or even if it was just for them to have fulfillment or love what they do, that's my goal. But I feel good when I see something grow or see that person's taken on and gotten out of that business what they wanted.
See, because that's the other thing. I mean, we're talking about business at the moment, but it could actually be just a personal project of self-development.
Yes.
It could be just something that you want to do for yourself.
Could be, yeah.
You know, which is also as equal as it would be if it was a business. So sometimes people's gain, and I know this from the profession that I do, is not usually driven by money.
No.
It could be simply because it's a passion or
That's
an interest or a like of something.
And that's a switch for me, because I have come from a business background where everything has to be monetized for it to be able to work and to continue. It has to be in profit. And we're now sort of switching where you know, some of these ideas, it's not even to generate a cent of money, it's to generate community connection, people feeling connected, having conversation, and you know, feeling a part of a community, which to me is so much more fulfilling.
Yes.
Because you are actually getting that underlying you know, enjoyment and fulfillment. It's not, you know, crunching numbers and
Yeah, and I can relate to that. I mean, mine would be opposite. So you're the monetary gain and how do I make a great profit? And now it's the other side.
Yeah.
Whereas me, I've been the poor pauper who's worked really hard and, you know, trying to make the money, but it's not about the money that drives me to get me to where I'm going. Yet I feel that every opportunity that has been presented to me is because it's just meant to be.
Yeah, that's right. And like I said, my whole career has been based on having to monetize everything. So it's sort of stepping back and
saying,
saying,
yin and yang.
Yes, it is. It is. We'll leg up, we'll partner. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I guess that's the essence of like-minded people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we had never met before.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
I think I met you a couple of days ago or last week, early sometime last week. And we had a brief conversation, and yet here we are now working together. So, you know, it's an interesting way.
Conversation today.
We've had some great conversations of learning today.
Yeah, it seems like we're very like-minded.
Yes, which is great, and that's the essence of what the community connection is all about.
That's right.
And if not, and you're not sure if you will connect or not, well, the only way to find out is just come on down, isn't it really? Just come down to the hub and meet and greet and introduce yourself. I mean, we had a lovely lady that I was speaking to earlier today named, or if I'm allowed to name, Helena, first name. And she's a local, and she also was hoping to support Love in Action with some donations, but also what she can do is a job placement, so that's where the workshop would come in handy for her. So there's a nice tie as to how everything fits in. And it's great because it just naturally is formed.
And I wanted to throw out to you as both as well. You were saying that you know, you'd only just recently met each other, but if you can you maybe say one or two things about what you think each other could offer in terms of each other's skill sets or the quality that you see in each other?
Well, automatically I would say lots of colour, you know, automatically lots of colour. But certainly I know that Jo's skill sets is definitely with business entrepreneurship. It's with being able to have a plan of some sort that can help you support and grow. It's about being able to understand hair really well if you're not sure about that field. Not my glaze either. But it's also understanding that and how to beautify yourself and look better if you needed to. It's about the workshops and having understandings of tailoring your skill sets in being able to put yourself out there and how to write a resume and how you can upload that onto the computer and what that would look like. So and it's also the fact that there is this warmth energy that comes through from Jo that I've been able to connect with. So that's Jo. Good luck with me.
For a couple of hours. I could say the same. I'll start on what you finished on with the energy. Like, there are some people that you associate with and you can automatically feel lifted, and that's how I feel in your presence. I feel lifted, like I feel like you know, I'm going home on a high today, sort of thing. But I also think that I've learned a lot from you already in a short amount of time. Like, we've only had a few conversations, but a lot around mindset and how just different ways of looking at things. And I know that you've mentioned a few times that everything you do is from a place of love, and you really feel that talking to you.
Thank
I
you.
feel a little bit emotional because it's so true. And I just honestly think you're a beautiful soul.
Thank you.
But,
Thank you.
yeah, but I think you've got, besides the mindset now, I think you've got like a wealth of knowledge behind you. You've had several different careers. I haven't touched too much on your work background, but I
That's
do.
right, there's too much to remember. And I didn't even mention the fact that I was one of the founders of Channel 31.
Oh,
So,
right.
you know, there's a whole list of different things.
Yeah.
But it's a journey.
Yeah,
All of it
it
is
is.
a journey. And
Yeah.
as you're going to touch on, I'm sure, is it just makes me who I am.
It does, 100%. And there was something that you were saying today. Well, the main thing was, like I said, coming from the place of love and everything that you do, but you're also an NLP
Yes.
coach as well, and a life coach. And that, you know, that's amazing information that you can pass on to others as well. Just even how you look at things, you know, I know a lot of NLP, it's a lot about, you know, focusing on more positives and that sort of stuff. And that would be interesting in the resume workshop, just with the mindset about how you approach your job. Like, I'm pretty sure that you'll have so much to share there.
Well, another idea that I have, which I'm hoping to offer here at the Hub, is to run workshops where people can learn how to manifest things, but more importantly, believe it and take action.
Yeah.
And have it written down so that
Yeah.
you believe that what you're seeing is congruent, it's tangible, it's in
Yeah.
your hand and you can run with it.
Yeah.
But also because we are sometimes caught up on our challenges in life,
Yeah.
and it is very much about what we focus on. And
Yes.
so if we're focusing on something that's negative, well, unfortunately you're going to receive a lot of negativity.
And you're going to feel negative.
And you're going to feel negative.
Yeah.
Whereas if you focus on something, then I'd like to say optimistic rather than positive.
Yeah.
Because if I had to be positive all the time, I'd be a bit like a Pollyanna. You know, what's her name? Pollyanna. You know, like out there. And I think that's way too much energy.
Yeah.
So being optimistic, I think, is a better
Yeah, that's
way
a
of
good way.
looking at
Yeah.
things, because you can still have your ups and downs,
Yeah,
but at least
that's
you're
right.
drawing and focusing on something that's going to be self-rewarding and
Yeah.
be able to see the benefits of feeling that way and
Yeah.
putting it out there, and then therefore you're receiving it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's on the horizon for both of you that you can disclose?
Oh, well, I've already spoken about my co-authoring book, which is seeking 20 co-authors. I'm looking at people from the COLD community, the multicultural community, the LGBTIQ+, the seniors, if you're 12 years plus, male or female, it doesn't matter. And also the opportunity to be able to write your story as a co-author, that a book that I'm creating. It is about a story of untold stories, so it is something that perhaps is of a challenge in the past, or perhaps needing the courage to be able to put it out there and write it. So that's something that I'm a big focus on at the moment, and aiming to have that completed by 2021. There is a small investment, but it's not a profit that I make. Again, when I do these things, I very rarely make any profit out of it. Perhaps that's where I need further help from you, Jo. But it is covering the cost of the publications and the editing and the proofreading that goes into that, which I don't do. It would go off to a publishing author corporation. But that is on the pipelines at the moment. I certainly do like to offer opportunities for people to be coached and supported to the best of my ability. Sometimes on a Saturday where there are no bookings, I may have a spot open. I generally put it on Facebook and say, if you're in the area and you want to pop in, you are welcome to do that. So that's me being present for people who may need it there and then or not. So that's something that I like to focus on, Emma. And also, of course, the Wallen Future Hub and the programs that can be developed here. I'm really grateful to Selena and Emma and Lisa, who has given me the opportunity for this week to be employed and be able to work in the capacity that I'm really great at, I believe. And having that being put into this opportunity will give me the opportunity to work for further not-for-profit organisations, or perhaps an extension of where I'm currently at, depending on which way the wheel goes. But the opportunity is here, and I'm very grateful for it and thankful for that. So that's something that I'm really keen. So I've got a week to really bust a gut and get as many programs I can come through to prove that it's worth having me here. From a funding perspective anyway, for sponsorships out there that might be listening, we are talking to you. And also, what else? Look, just being the best version of myself that I can be, being present for my children, being present for my partner, being present for members of the community, and continue to break down something that I'm very passionate, which is the barriers in our community and isolation.
Yeah.
So that's what's on for me, Emma. What about you, Jo?
Well, after my placement, I'm going to get a job here. No, I'm just joking.
No, this is the sponsorship we're talking about. We need those in order for it to happen. Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yes.
I've just started studying actually Bachelor of Counselling.
Yes.
So I'm actually wanting to move through helping women in particular move through trauma. And I hope to pair that with Australian bush flower essences, because I'm all about vibration and raising your vibration.
How wonderful. And
so that's something that I'm very interested in, and I'm still going to be keeping working social media. I'm sure I'll have my hand in startups somewhere, just because it's my entrepreneurial love. But and a bit the same too, like I'm focusing on being a bit more mindful about where I spend my time. Mindful when I'm at work and when I'm with my children, and that's basically
so
it.
You'll have to come to one of my workshops that I run here, because that'll be free.
On mindfulness?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll lock that in and make sure I'm just dedicated to that. I don't have anything else on that day.
That's what we call a non-negotiable. Emma's learnt a lot about
Yes.
non-negotiables. I think Selena, we've spoken about it too.
Yeah.
And anyone else who speaks to me will know that, you lock something in, you make it happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's that procrastination that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's similar with goals, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Write your goal down, plan
But it's
to do
different.
it.
Like as a teacher, when I was in the teaching capacity, and we asked the children to, write down your goals for this term.
Yeah.
And sometimes kids have some idea and some they have no idea. And if we break it down to, okay, what would you like